Today on the spot, we say goodbye to the old Xbox Live and say hello to what's new this week on Xbox Live. Mark Anderson breaks down Fuse, and we got demos of Monster Hunter Tri and Teenage Impact Cross the Line. Today on the spot.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Today on the Spot. I'm your host, Chris Waters, joined by Brian Eckberg over here. Brian, have you got all your ducks in order? Today's April 15th, tax day.
What do you mean?
Tax day, you know, federal and state income
it's a
taxes.
Thursday, man.
Yep, Thursday. You got all your stuff out. The IRS is well paid.
Yep.
Got your W-2s taken care of. Is this right?
No idea what.
This is not.
What language is this?
Nothing is sticking here, is it?
Got no idea what you're talking about.
You're a little. All right, let's switch it to something that's maybe more within your wheelhouse.
Sure.
Monsters.
I know all about them.
Yeah.
Love
all
'em.
right. We got Monster Hunter Tri on the show today. Got a nice little swag bundle given away, and also the demo coming up.
Okay.
Pretty exciting.
Sounds
Monsters. Think about what your favorite one is. I'm going to ask you later.
What my favorite taxes is?
No. We're talking about monsters now.
Okay, got it.
Because we want to keep it something you can talk about. Engage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll think
Monsters.
about Monsters.
Think about that.
Right here.
While Brian brainstorms that, and that could take a while, we're going to head over to Tor Thorson at the news desk for the latest headlines.
Hey everybody, it's your GameSpot news update for Thursday, April 15th. I'm Tor Thorson. When you think budget deficit, the first two words that pop in your head probably aren't video game. However, that hasn't stopped the Obama administration from discussing the possibility of developing a debt-busting simulation with none other than Steve Ballmer, CEO of Microsoft. According to USA Today, a new bipartisan commission appointed by the president is considering developing the deficit quashing game and then releasing it to the public. The goal is to have the game go viral and solicit new ideas about how to stem the ballooning budget deficit, which will be $1.5 trillion this year alone, equal to the entire federal budget in 1995. So it's official, the US government is out of ideas. In other news, take a minute today to observe a moment of silence for the original Xbox Live, which quietly passed away in its sleep last night at the age of 7.5. Born in November 2002 to proud parents Bill Gates and Jay Allard, it was one of the most robust online networks of the last generation of consoles. So much so, in fact, that it was still active nearly 4 years after the original Xbox was discontinued, mainly for those who couldn't kick the Halo 2 habit. The move will end online support for all original Xbox games, including digital copies of Xbox originals that were bought for the Xbox 360. Any offline single-player modes will still function normally, and single-player games with no Xbox Live component will be unaffected. Oh, and 6 more senior developers have left Infinity Ward, including the last lead designer of Modern Warfare 2. Well, that's it, your GameSpot news update for Thursday, April 15th. For more headlines, head on over to news.gamespot.com.
Mothra! What up, Big Moth? And now, friends, it's time for This Week on Xbox Live.
This week on Xbox Live is full of very unique content. If you haven't already seen the trailer for Gears of War 3, head over to the videos section and check it out. It sets the mood for the upcoming game and also introduces some creatures new to the series, like female soldiers. In the game add-on section, there's the Road and Track car pack for Forza 3. This pack adds some cars that are great for the track, like the 2010 Bentley Continental Supersport, as well as some cars better left to just the roads, like the 2010 Volkswagen Golf. Moving on to games on demand, go treasure hunting with Lara Croft in Tomb Raider Legend. In this one, she's off to solve some of the mysteries of her past, with plenty of climbing and platforming puzzles to go through. Also out this week is Naruto Rise of Ninja. Explore the beautifully rendered city of Konoha as the outcast Naruto, who must gain the respect of the people and become a true ninja. On arcade, Capcom is bringing out Final Fight Double Impact. This game has been updated with several graphical options for giving it a new look or a classic arcade feel. In addition to Final Fight, this download also packs in Magic Sword. The side-scrolling fantasy game features different weapons for the main character, as well as the ability to rescue and recruit allies to fight alongside of you. New game demos include the real-time strategy game Supreme Commander 2, which features huge maps that will have the battle taking place on multiple fronts. This demo lets you play as the United Earth Federation faction and check out some of the different units you can build up in the game. Also out is the demo for 2010 FIFA World Cup South Africa, which lets you hit the pitch and check out some of the teams that are going to be available. The full version features all 199 national teams and 10 licensed stadiums. And there's some hot stuff waiting for you in the indie games section. like Blazin' Balls, where you guide a ball down the track collecting coins and bouncing over obstacles. Not hot enough for you? Then check out Massage Me, a game that will vibrate your controller in various patterns to give you just the right kind of massage. It supports up to 4 controllers to get your massage in sync with a few of your closest friends. Take turns controlling which pattern to use, or even make your own custom massages to get the feeling just right. And when you're done with that game, you're ready for Baby Maker Extreme. Get pumped up and ready to shoot that baby out and see how far you can take it. Hit glowing objects to gain additional boost and also bonuses, like getting crabs. You can even use your avatar to no doubt accurately recreate the event of your own birth. If that wasn't enough for you, I don't know what is. Check back next time for the latest this week on Xbox Live.
There you have it. Your look at what's new this week on Xbox Live. Moving on to
what was that?
Oh,
What was that?
What was that? Your look at
What did we
Xbox Live.
just
You know,
see?
new crop of downloadable stuff.
Yeah, I saw that,
Xbox
but I also
360.
saw the games.
Oh yeah.
Weird timing.
That was some extreme baby making. I did not realize that
Yeah, I mean
that drugs could do that to a woman in labor.
they can't. But
Oh.
I'm thinking
Guess that's
more
reassuring.
of the baby and then the balls and then the massaging
Okay.
all together. You put those things all together.
Is
Weird.
it
It's a little.
there's something strange there?
Whenever
for you?
I put balls and massaging together.
Well, those are two separate games, right? I mean, you've got personal massage
you
and
say so.
blazing balls. Those
say
things, I don't see the connection. They're different types of games.
I mean, I just wonder about the timing of having. You have some balls, and
Yeah.
then you put some massaging near the balls, and then a baby game.
And then a babe.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I'm quite following you. We can delve into this a little more. Let's move on though.
Balls.
It's time for something that's maybe a little less confusing to you. A demo of TNA on the PSP.
Hey everyone, Brian Eckberg here with your daily demo. We're checking out TNA Impact Cross the Line. I'm here with South Peak's Jeff Blair. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Happy to have you here. TNA Wrestling game. This one's just for PSP. Take us through this game. What can you do in this game?
Well, TNA Impact Cross the Line is a hard-hitting wrestling game. The game is split into 2 sides. You've got the single-player campaign and then the exhibition. When you're dealing with the single player, you're actually following the storyline of Suicide, who is a real wrestler in TNA. To give you a quick overview of the storyline, he's working his way up to getting the title belt. He's about to become the grand champion, so to speak, and then a shadowy group comes up to him and tells him he needs to throw the match.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So he goes for it and he wins and he gets the title belt. And as he's leaving the
arena?
The arena, that's
Yep.
the word I'm looking for. He is actually mugged by 2 masked figures.
Right.
He wakes up 3 weeks later in Tijuana, Mexico. He's been beaten so bad that his face had to be reconstructed.
Good Lord.
And he has amnesia.
Okay.
But then he's told that there's a wrestling competition happening in the town square, that if he were to win it, he could win some pocket cash and get a trip to an American Air Force base and possibly get back home, wherever that may be.
Right.
So from there on out, you're following Suicide to basically both the goals of getting the championship and remembering who he is.
So a pretty standard wrestling story.
Pretty standard
Yeah.
wrestling story.
And I'd imagine it takes you through a lot of different match types.
Right, whenever you're playing through the single player campaign, you've got everything from your standard one-on-one wrestling to there's the Ultimate X, which is where you have to actually climb up on pylons to grab an X that's hanging over the center of the ring rather than just pinning your opponent. You've got tag team, which is 2-on-2. You've got a handicap, which is 1 versus 2, and you even have one that's called Full Metal Mayhem.
Right.
That's where you're actually using weapons. So you'll find signs and folding chairs and TVs and stuff hanging around outside of the ring. So you can actually go out, grab them, bring it back in, and just smash it over your opponent's head.
And we should point out that Metal Mayhem is that's
That's
a new
unique
mode.
to the that's only on the PSP version.
All right. Well, when we talk about wrestling games, people want to know about the roster. We're checking out a match right now between Shark Boy And TNA announcer Mike Tenay.
Mike Tenay, that's our
man. That's an
man.
incredible addition to the roster.
Yep, Mike Tenay and Don West are both playable characters
Big
in this
news.
game. Oh, it's amazing. When you get the two of them facing off in a grudge match.
Yes, we did that earlier. Jeff and I did that earlier. We had an epic showdown between the announcers. But it's just a small slice of the roster. It's got a big roster at this game.
Oh yeah, I mean there's a lot of real wrestlers in there. I mean you've got Alex Shelley, Rhino, Robert Roode. I mean just a whole bunch of real people. And then there's also an expanded list that's all of the characters that were written specifically for Suicide single-player campaign. So I mean you're looking at 50 plus wrestlers. I mean it's just massive.
Big roster. So we're looking at the game in the ring. Tell me about the controls. How do you play this game?
Well, it's actually a pretty straightforward control schema. I mean you've got the square is kick, X is punch, triangle is grapple, and this is executed with the circle button. This right here is a submission move. You also use both of the shoulder pads, which is the right shoulder pad is to run, and the left shoulder pad, when you hold that down, it adds more power to your move. So instead of, like if you hold the shoulder pad and hit X, instead of a quick jab, you're actually doing a big overhead smash or something like that. So it leaves you vulnerable for a moment, but then, once you connect, it does a whole lot more damage.
And like the older TNA game, you fill up your impact meter, you get a special move. It brings up in this case, it brings up a button mashing minigame that we saw it on
right.
screen. Right.
Whenever you're doing a submission, what happens is you've got the person in lockup, and then 2 sets of buttons will show up under both their names. Under your name, you've got to hit all 3 of the buttons in order before the other person does. So if you're the one executing the lockup, if you do that 3 to 5 times, in a row without letting them get ahead of you, you would do a whole lot of damage on one focus point. Whereas if you've been put in lockup, the first time you get through a set of 3 before the other person, you get out of it.
Nice. Well, we're actually, maybe we scroll through the roster a little bit so people can see some of the wrestlers in here. There's Mike Tenay, Brother Devon, of course. Chris Sabin, named after a video game character, he told me. Actually, I interviewed him a few years ago. Sabin is a character in Final Fantasy. That's how he got his last name.
I did not know that.
That's a little bit of
That's
trivia
actually
for you.
awesome.
Scott Steiner, big roster. So yeah, a lot of guys that TNA fans will recognize in here.
Oh, definitely.
All right, so final question is, when is TNA coming out?
TNA is coming out in June, so be prepared for that.
Absolutely. Jeff, thank you for being here. Appreciate that. TNA Impact Cross the Line coming for the PlayStation Portable very soon. Okay, now it's time to talk about a brand new feature here on GameSpot. We're joined by Lark Anderson, and I'm in the host chair because you and Chris Waters are not speaking anymore.
We had a falling out a little while ago. It was really weird, and it's kind of awkward. We see each other around the office, and we just kind of like, oh, yeah, what's up, dude? But
and as you can tell, Lark and I are BFFs because we're both wearing white now.
Twinsies.
Exactly. All right, so what is GameSpot Fuse?
So GameSpot Fuse is kind of the next big thing that we're doing here on the site. So late last year, we announced our partnership with Raptor, which is a company that tracks gameplay data and achievements. And today we went ahead and launched the next big thing with all of that information. We're calling it GameSpot Fuse. And it's kind of changed a number of things on our site. So you can see this is my profile right here. And we changed a number of things here, starting with kind of the user panel here. It's got a nicer, cleaner look. The level bar is a lot more attractive here now. The big thing is that the emblems panel's changed a bit. Okay. So we're actually pulling in gameplay achievements now. The top row is GameSpot emblems. The bottom row are now most recent achievements that I've unlocked. We also have added this neat little callout here for my achievements. And if you click into that, you go to this page. This is the achievement stats page, which shows you kind of a summary of all of your achievements on GameSpot, on Xbox 360 and on PC, as well as your most recently unlocked achievements and emblems, and rarest achievements and emblems.
Nice.
Then you can go into the GameSpot tab, for example, and then see what you've been doing on GameSpot lately. So all achievements, or all emblems, which we will be shortly rebranding as achievements, now have rarities associated with them. They can be one of 5 different rarities: common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary, which if you play World of Warcraft you may recognize. Yeah. And then you can kind of share them with other people and sort them by, I want to see what my rarest achievement is, and it's my GameSpot staff emblem.
Legendary.
It's legendary. On the Xbox 360 or PC front, you can go ahead and see your gamer score, the number of achievements you've earned, a breakdown of all of the games that you've played, which is sorted currently by most recently played, but let's see what Halo 3 achievements I have here, for example. And it'll show you all of that stuff. You can even compare your achievements with your friends. So I'm going to see what Kim Cortero has, because I know that guy, and I'm sure that he has played this game before. Yes. And looks like he hasn't.
Yep.
So I am this much better than he is.
You're way better.
Way better. And you can do this for the PC as well. And then the second part of that is if you go to GameSpace, like Gears of War 2 here, you'll see that we've added a brand new achievements area here as well. So this is a list of all of the achievements in Gears of War 2. Achievements that I've unlocked are surfaced here. I can see how, the percentage of the achievements of the game that I've unlocked, which is 33% right now. The average number of achievements that people have unlocked across the site, same as me, so I'm just right up there with everyone else.
Nice.
And I can see that there's also what we call the 100% Club, and that is for people who are so awesome they've got every single achievement available for Gears of War 2. In this case, there's only 4 people on GameSpot right now.
Wow, I would have expected a bit more, but that's pretty impressive.
And then again, you can compare achievements with friends. You can print a cheat sheet of all of the achievements for that game, so you can kind of check them off as you go along. And then you can click in, kind of deeper into a single achievement, like It's a Trap here, for Gears of War 2 to see the number of people who've unlocked, or the percentage of the people on the site who've unlocked it, who the first person to unlock it was, and then the most recent 20 people to have unlocked it. And you can even leave comments there about, like, how do I get this achievement? Or, I'm so rad I have this achievement and none of you people do, kind of stuff.
Awesome.
So, there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can do on the site right now. This is what we're doing right now. If you have any feedback, we have opened a brand new forum, and we're going to be putting up a frequently asked question sheet for that later on today. Cool. So you can provide feedback and get all the info out there.
So if someone wants to get in on this, how do they do it?
It's pretty easy. You have to be a member of both GameSpot and Raptor.
Okay.
Free accounts on both are available. Very easy. If you're a GameSpot member that has not logged, or that does not have a Raptor account, or you do have one, there's a number of places on the site where you'll be able to just click a promo graphic. It'll tell you, you'll confirm your login and your password on Raptor. It's a really simple process, and then bam, they're right there in your game space.
Pretty easy.
And then if you're new to both sites, again, it's really simple. We've created a unified a login system so that you can just create accounts for both in one fell swoop.
Awesome, and I would imagine this isn't the end of Fuse. There's more stuff to come.
Oh yeah, there's plenty more to come. We are very interested in seeing any of your feedback, so if you have any questions or comments or suggestions for what we can do in the future with this, just go ahead and go in and check out the forum and leave us a note. But we definitely have some pretty big and awesome plans for this in the future.
Well, there you go. A first look at GameSpot Fuse live on the site right now. Lark, thanks so much. Appreciate that. All right, back to the rest of the show.
So as you folks may have heard, this week marks the cessation of service for Xbox Live on the original Xbox. The end of an era. That old girl can't go online no more.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but we all played Halo 2. We all have our favorite memories from this, but it's time.
That's true. For all that I played on Xbox Live on the original Xbox back in the day, it's been a long time since I dabbled in those waters.
Well, we've all got our opinions on the stoppage of the original Xbox Live service, and our video editor extraordinaire Tyler Weingartner put a feature together where we all give our point of view. Check it out.
On April 15th, Microsoft closes a chapter on gaming history by discontinuing support for the original Xbox Live service. Xbox games, as well as Xbox originals available for download on the 360, will no longer be playable online. While Microsoft has yet to give any official reasons for shutting down the original Xbox Live service, speculation swirled that Halo 2 and its online infrastructure were preventing the company from raising the friend limit for the current version of Xbox Live.
I was actually shocked, because Halo 2 is like the definitive online multiplayer console game in my eyes, because it's one of the first that I ever really played. So when I heard that they were destroying that, it's like, well, that's it.
That thing is still going.
For the sentimental value, I'm sad, but from a realistic perspective, I'm personally not affected too much.
So now that Microsoft is getting rid of this barrier, they can kind of open up the friends list so you can add more people and do all that. It's kind of sad because it is a piece of history. Xbox Live is really important to the way that we handle online gaming now. It's important to how online gaming has evolved on the consoles. So I'm sad, but it's kind of a necessary step to take.
I'm a realist. I know that Microsoft can't really keep maintaining those servers forever, even though there is that small pocket of really enthusiastic fans that are still playing.
Probably one of my favorite memories of playing online with the original Xbox would be, I must have just moved to the US, And so I was kind of missing home. I was missing a bunch of my friends from England and that kind of stuff. And so me and a group of 3 of my best friends from over there, we would get together maybe once every couple of weeks or something and do the terrorist hunt mode in Rainbow Six. And yeah, just 4 of us there kind of, talking on the mics and just catching up with each other, but also obviously, the very serious business of taking down terrorists.
Like pretty much everyone else out there, I played Halo 2 because that's what you did when you had an Xbox. You played Halo 2.
Burnout Takedown. So much fun to get together with friends and play Burnout Takedown and crash into people. And that game had such great online modes. And I mean, obviously that series has, has moved forward since then, but nothing really. That's easily the game that stands out.
Sitting in my small apartment that I shared with my girlfriend and my college buddy, and my girlfriend in her room with like headphones on while me and my buddy played split screen Halo 2 online for as long as I could play without getting in trouble.
Xbox Live has had this really an undeniably massive impact.
The fact that each and every Xbox had the Ethernet internet capabilities built in was a really huge deal. I don't think this could have worked really any other way.
It's made it accessible to many, many more people.
PlayStation 2 had online, obviously, and SOCOM was a huge hit, but it wasn't really something that came with the system.
I think that it started things that now we're starting to take for granted, like the party system. Now you see that system popping up in individual games on other platforms as well.
Any game that came out for the Xbox could conceivably have that multiplayer component.
I think Xbox Live still sets the standard for being able to easily connect with people, to easily stay connected with those people as you play, and provides an excellent interface to be able to hook up with people. That's really still unparalleled in online gaming.
I think in the future of Xbox Live, I'd like to see a more customizable dashboard.
I'm a realist. I don't actually expect this to happen, but one of these days I would like to log on to a match in the next Halo game, be it, Reach or whatever other game that this happens with, and I would like, for once in my entire Xbox experience, to not be called a horrible name by a 13-year-old who has just discovered the internet.
I'd like to see a way to ban racism. Is that possible?
Well, I'm a big fan of a PC program/service called Xfire. And one of the things that Xfire lets you do is broadcast your gameplay to other people. And I think it would be really awesome if you could do the same thing using Xbox Live.
But no matter the reason, the launch of the original Xbox Live service was an important moment in gaming and one that helped shape the way we play console games online today.
Memories. But on to what's new and current. We've got Monster Hunter Tri demo coming up, but before we get in there, I want to whet your appetite with the Monster Hunter gear we're giving away. We got a poster.
Yep.
Brian's going to roll that out. We
Yep.
got some stickers for your Wii, a dope mug for quaffing beverages. There you are. You have the poster, as well as this little monster figurine to spruce up your desktop, mantelpiece,
Toilet.
car dashboard, toilet. Any number of uses apply. But before we get into the trivia and giving it away, we're going to check out the game Monster Hunter Tri demo. Roll it.
Hey everyone, Brian Eckberg here. I'm here with Eric Monicelli from Capcom. We're talking Monster Hunter Tri for Nintendo Wii. This game is coming very soon. For those who don't know what Monster Hunter is all about, it's sort of a phenomenon overseas. It's making waves here in the US as well. What's Monster Hunter all about?
Monster Hunter is really all about, the hunt. That's the biggest thing that Monster Hunter emphasizes. The coolest thing about Monster Hunter is the ways you can play it. You can play it single player, you can play it co-op, you can play it multiplayer online, and it's just really fun to blow it out all 3 ways and just, try it out online with your buddies, or if you want to play some co-op offline, you can do that. 2-player split screen we have, and then also single player. It's about tracking down big monsters with big weapons and hunting them down.
Doesn't get much simpler than that. Now, I know there's definitely a lot of different ways to play this game. A lot of different styles of play, lots of classes to play. Can you tell us who are we playing as here? What have we got going on?
Right here you see Sean's playing with an armor set that's actually crafted from from one of the monsters, and that's a big feature in the game. All the armor sets and the weapons you make actually are pieces from other monsters that you'll carve off.
Okay.
And you can go back to your village and go to the the village smithy, and he'll carve you a new armor set. And right here he has the Lagacrus armor and also a Lagacrus hammer, which is one of the new monsters in the game. He's actually our cover boy. He's on the box.
You licensed him.
Yeah, we licensed him. And it's a really cool armor set, because every armor set you'll get, depending on the monster, will have its own sort of uniqueness to it. And the Lagacrus armor has an electrical charge. So you see right there, he has that blue sort of electricity. That's the electrical charge you get from using that armor set.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, you can have a ton of loot in this game, a ton of different build-outs. Can you explain how that works and how you sort of progress your character as you go?
Yeah, absolutely. When you first start off the game, you pretty much start off in, very simple, almost in your underwear sort of thing.
Yeah, I can vouch for that, definitely.
And then as you move along in the game, you'll get resources from going on hunts and gathering. You do gathering quests. You also do hunts where you just track down monsters. And when you're tracking down these monsters, as I said, you can carve pieces of them, and when you take those back, you craft them at the smithy. You'll be able to buy new weapons, buy new armors, and you'll also, as you kill more monsters, you'll go up in hunter rank.
Okay.
And as you progress in hunter rank, you'll be able to equip different sort of weapon sets and things like that.
And I'm assuming these different animals all have their different tactics for bringing them down.
Yeah.
If you're playing the game single player or if you're playing it multiplayer, does the monster difficulty scale accordingly?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the monsters have their own unique special attacks and tactics. There's a whole ecosystem going on with these monsters. It really feels like you're in this environment, you're on a hunt. The monsters will do things like call in other monsters. You'll see when they're injured or when they're hurt that they'll kind of run away. You can tell when a beast is injured and hurt too, if it's limping or drooling, or if you knock a piece of its face off or something like that. So it's really, really unique as you're playing with the different. You see right here, we're showing a lot of the single player, which is a great little. If you're new to the world of Monster Hunter, it's a great way to get into the game. You can actually get through the single player in about 8 to 10 hours.
Okay.
It can take longer if you want to do all the side quests, but it's very accessible. It's a very easy way to get into the world of Monster Hunter if you're new to it. And if you're playing with multiplayer, you're playing with 4 buddies online, the monsters are going to be, they're going to scale up. The AI is going to figure out your tactics. If you plant a lot of traps, it'll kind of avoid the traps. If you just try and wail away on the monster, it's going to call in more buddies to help it out so it can survive longer.
And Sean is cycling through his items very quickly. Can you tell us about some of the different items he's been using?
Yeah. The items are one of the greatest things about the game too, because there's just so many of them. Yeah. I mean, there's hundreds of different items, and you see right there he used a demon drug, which actually will increase your attack power. Okay. You get this sort of red aura around you. Right there he's chowing down on some well-done steak, which maxes.
You cook yourself,
you cook your. Yeah, that's there's little mini games within Monster Hunter itself too. So you get like a barbecue spit, and you can roast yourself a steak, and you carve the steak from the monster.
Right.
So there's this whole, living, breathing world environment there that goes on, and so there's just so many different items. There's dash juice. There's, a great one that people love is the dung bomb.
Yeah.
The dung bomb is basically it's poo, and you can throw it in the monster's mouth, and it will prevent them from, calling out for other monsters or biting at you. So a real cool thing Sean just did right here is he dove underwater, and that's one of the new things for Monster Hunter Try. Nice. Seamless. You go land to water seamlessly, and as you notice, these environments are just beautiful on the Wii.
Yeah,
they're absolutely, nice. The developers did a kick-ass job, and they really just pushed the Wii to the max.
And it's obvious that you've been tracking this monster down. It seems like these fights can go on for a while.
Yeah, it depends on your skill set, how many people you're hunting with, and but this monster is we're showing one of the later monsters in the game. It's called the Royal Ludruth, and he's it's a little bit more of a challenge. But earlier monsters it might take you a few minutes. Later monsters it could take you up to 50 minutes. So it's great because this game is really scalable to however you want to play. can be bite-sized or it can be monster-sized.
Well, cool. So tell me about multiplayer again, online multiplayer. For 4 players, is that correct?
Yeah. Up to 4-player online multiplayer co-op. You can do also 2-player Arena Quest. The 4-player online, the coolest thing we got going here in the States is it's completely free, which is great. Over in, that was one of the things we want to make sure happened. Also, we have We Speak capability, so you can do voice chat, and then you can do text chat, and so it's a fully fledged multiplayer experience. Also, we're not using friend codes, we're using a system called the Hunter ID, which is a really straightforward, simple way to just kind of, you could connect up with players online, send them a friend request, they accept the friend request, you're in, play with them.
It's that simple. All right, Eric, we should also point out that you guys have a new controller for this game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Nintendo was really awesome, and they partnered up with us, and we actually have, this is the Classic Controller Pro. It's coming out for the Wii. We did a bundle with Monster Hunter Tri, and so when you go to pick up the game on 420, if you're lucky enough, you can get one of the bundles, and the controller, which, you can play it with the Wiimote and Nunchuck if that's what you're into. You can play it with your old Classic controller, you can play it with this new Classic Controller Pro. And it's all about your play style, but this controller is, personally, this is the way I play the game because it just, I'm an older guy, so it feels familiar for me. So, it's a great new thing that Nintendo was able to, work in with us, and we're really happy to have it.
You put that in your hands, you know exactly how that thing's going to work.
Exactly, yeah, totally.
When's the game coming out?
The game's coming out April 20th.
All right, Eric, thank you so much for being here. Look for Monster Hunter Tri coming soon. Well, there you go. There's your look at Monster Hunter Tri for Nintendo Wii coming very soon. You saw the trivia prizes earlier. Now it's time for the question. I hold it here in my hands. The question is, in Monster Hunter Freedom 2 on the PSP, the fort was built to defend against which kind of monster? You think you know the answer? Send us an email at onthespot@gamespot.com or fill out the trivia module here on this page. And some lucky winners will win some of the swag we have on the NES. We have several of the posters, several of the mugs, a lot of good stuff, so a lot of people are going to have a chance to win.
All right, good luck to you trivia contestants, and that's going to about do it for us here today. Brian, thanks for joining me.
My pleasure.
Folks, tune in on Saturday where we find out if Brian, in fact, is going to get audited. Spoiler alert, I think the answer is yes. Thanks for joining us, folks.
Go over this with me again. What is taxing?
Okay, so it's like you earn money.
No. And now, friends, it's time for
personal massage and blazing balls, those aren't connected, really.